Warning: this podcast may contain graphic violence, sexual themes, and bad language. If our language offends you, we apologize, but we do not give a fuck. Be mindful of your kids listening.
The Evil Never Dies podcast.
Welcome back to the Evil Never Dies podcast, episode 226. What's going on, Carl?
Why do you ask me every week what's going on?
I want to know what's going on.
You know what's going on. You told me you was going to make me watch one of the worst movies ever for this show, and you did. You succeeded with your goal. You promised last week you was going to pick a really crappy movie, and you did.
Really crappy, huh?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to watch this movie on VHS. I'd rent it from the B-Star video store just because it tripped me out, I think. But all these years later, yeah, it doesn't hold up well at all. So that's my thought. If you want to spoil this movie, then go ahead.
Well, yeah, you sort of have to spoil this movie.
If you haven't seen this movie, I'm going to tell you right now, it's called Sleepaway Camp. There's like 5 of them, but this is the original. So if you haven't watched this and you don't want spoilers, then you might want to pause this and go watch the crap fest and then come back. Otherwise, just listen to us because this is going to probably be a slow, quick, but fun episode because this movie has not held up, folks. Not at all.
You ever been to summer camp, Carl?
No, never wanted to go to summer camp.
Well, either did I, but I got stuck with it.
No desire to go to no summer camp.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I went 3 years at the Peoria, Illinois Southside Mission Camp.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awful.
It was like every degenerate kid that their parents didn't want to do nothing with them for a week.
They sent them to summer camp.
Yeah, and it was a religious camp because it was the Southside Mission, and it was just fucking awful. And I got stuck going there for 3 years.
No, I never went to summer camp.
I was 9 until I was 12, and yeah.
Did you notice we switched heads out?
Oh,
we now have Leatherface's head instead of
that's the
Captain
sexy
Spaulding.
Leatherhead too.
Yeah, it's Leatherhead. But no, I never went to no sleepaway camp, and
yeah,
this movie it's just too much of a rip off of Friday the 13th and then Elm Street, even though I think this came out before Elm Street. And it's just I did like it when I was a kid because it freaked me out. There are some good kills in it, and it's got a freaky end.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right.
That's some pretty controversial parts in it besides the freaky ending too. There's like a
beginning,
real life pervert in it too.
Yeah, in the very beginning.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get into this movie and get
All
it
right.
over with, Bubba, because you've been wanting to do this movie for 2 years. So.
Oh, I have not.
This is your road. This is your world. I don't have anything much more to say about it. I'm just going to agree or disagree.
It's just been on the list forever.
Well, thank God it's off the list. Let's go for it.
All right. Sleepaway Camp. Written and directed by Robert Hiltzik. Produced by Jerry Silva and Michelle Tatosian. Cinematography by Benjamin Davis, which I think the cinematography was pretty well done in this for sure.
I don't know. I've never seen anything other than a VHS copy and then the Tubi version. So there is a Blu-ray that Scream Factory put out on it, but I never have bought it.
Yeah, you asked me the other night. You said, "Hey, it's on sale."
Yeah, you were talking about I thought you were talking about this, and then we were talking about another. We were talking about 2 movies at once, and I'm like, "Why do you want to buy this on Blu-ray?" But if you do, it's $13. with extras and commentary tracks. It might be interesting to hear some commentary on this movie, honestly.
Yeah, but we'll see if it stays on sale.
Okay.
Maybe I'll buy it one day for $13, but not right now.
Not this year. Maybe next year.
All right. It was edited by Ron Kalish and Ralph Rosenblum, Sharon L. Ross. Music by Edward Bylos. And not a very memorable soundtrack.
I was about to say, I don't even
story.
remember any of the songs I just watched it the other night and I don't remember
Yeah.
anything from it.
Not very, not very
Yeah.
memorable. So, production company American Eagle Films, and I don't even
Never
think
heard of it.
they used to produce a bunch of these like low budget horror movies back in the day. Distributed by United Film Distribution Company. Same thing with them.
Yeah, I don't know them. They must
Lots
be.
of low budget stuff. It was released on November 18th, 1983, with a running time of 84 minutes. Country of origin, United States. English language. Budget, $350,000.
Well, for the budget, they did a pretty good job at the practical effects, I guess. I mean, it's all we
Yep.
had back then was practical effects, but
Exactly.
I will say some of the effects were good in this movie. I don't know where else they spent the budget on.
Well, they saved a lot of money too because it was mostly all kids.
It was mostly kids and actual kids. You know, a lot of
Yeah,
the
under
Friday the
18
13th
kids.
movies that have these 30-year-olds playing teenagers, but this has got legitimate kids in it.
Yep. Take a guess on how much it made at the box office.
It made a lot of money at the box office.
11 million. So
Yeah,
they definitely made a
it
profit
made
on
money.
that.
I remember that. And it was huge on VHS in the 80s.
Yep. It's sort of become like a cult classic now.
It's definitely a cult classic. I mean, it's produced about 4 or 5 sequels, so
Yep. And I have never seen not a one of them. So
I might have seen Sleepaway Camp 2, but it's so unmemorable I don't remember. So I'm going to say I probably did see it at some point. It doesn't have anything to do with the original. That may or may not be a good thing, but in this case, it probably was not.
yeah. All right, Carl, why don't you go over the plot of this movie you love so much?
Okay, so it begins pretty interesting. There's this family, the daddy, daughter, and brother out on a boat. And I don't know why they're out in a boat. I think the daddy's, is it his partner or
Yeah, it's his boyfriend.
his boyfriend, which is pretty crafty for the 80s. You didn't see a lot of that back then. So,
Exactly.
or like telling them to get back to shore. So in the meantime, we get this teenage girl who's, what do you call it out there? Lake skiing?
Water skiing, yeah.
Water skiing. I got the wrong term. And, the boyfriend, the lifeguard boy, or I guess it's a boyfriend, I don't know, lets the girl drive the boat. So of course they drive right over where the family is and slam right into them and cut the boat in half and kills the daddy and the boy. So it leaves the sister as an orphan. At least we think it's the sister. We don't know. So anyway, so they're dead. They send the little boy off to live with this very eccentric aunt. I don't know what her problem was, but she
Yeah.
sort of turned the boy into a girl. That's a spoiler right there. And she don't talk a lot, or he. It's technically a boy because it's got a dingling on it. So yeah, it's a boy, but looked like a girl to me because I remember in the 80s as a kid watching a lot. You know, I was like, what? How old would I have been in 80? When would I have seen this? 84 probably.
Yeah.
She's probably the same age as I was. So I'm like, oh, she's kind of cute till I found out she had a dingling. And I'm like, she's not even a girl. So I thought in real life that was a boy when I was watching the movie, I think. So that's what kind of flipped me out.
Okay.
It's not like it is now where, you know, that this is sort of we kind of have education and knowledge of what goes on in the world. In the 80s, we didn't have nothing.
Nope.
They just threw shit at us and we had to figure it out for ourselves. So I was very very, very confused when I saw Sleepaway Camp.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my only
you were
plot.
probably only what, 11, 12 at the time.
Probably.
Yeah,
And
'cause
it's this
83.
little,
I was 16, so
there was this little girl and she had a ding-a-ling, and I didn't understand it when I was 12, 10, whatever old it was. Why was I even watching a movie like this then? It's supposed to be a like a Friday the 13th ripoff, but they really did come up with a really, really, really big plot twist.
yeah, they did.
There's definitely some murders in it. And I don't even really understand what the reasoning behind the murder spree is, except for the pervert dude.
Because maybe I think the two that were driving the boat and the water skiing thing, they worked at the camp, which was right across the lake from where they were. So
Is that what caused the killing?
that's what I'm thinking, more than likely.
I never understood the murder spree. It
So
didn't make
yeah,
a lot of sense then, and it don't make any sense now. In the
no
80s, I didn't really care. I just wanted to see slashing because
slashing.
I was a slasher fan then. So, but this is no Friday the 13th. I think the worst Friday the 13th movie has this beat. So
Oh,
I think the worst Freddy movie has this beat.
uh,
So
that's
your turn. I
all
don't know what
right.
else to say.
Let's go over the cast here.
I
First
don't
we
know
got
anybody in this movie that have ever done anything else.
uh, the first one on here, which is Felissa Rose as Angela slash Peter Baker.
Now she's still around and she like
Yeah,
does a lot of conventions, and she actually did another Sleepaway Camp movie at some point.
yep, she's been in all kinds of stuff. Let's see if there's anything.
So she would be the exception to the rule, perhaps.
Yeah. All right. Then we got Frank Sorrentino as young Peter and Colette Lee Cochran as young Angela. Next, we got Jonathan Tiersten as Ricky Thomas. That was Angela's cousin.
He was a
Karen,
pretty good kid to her in the movie.
yeah. Karen Fields as Judy, the bitch of the movie, I guess you'd say she
Yeah,
was.
she's sort of the one you want to see get killed first.
Yeah. Christopher Collette as Paul, Mike Kellen as Mel Kostick. He was the camp owner. Catherine Cammy as Meg, Aunt Meg, and she was just
Weird chick.
weird. She was just the way she talked and like, yeah, like,
I mean, she dresses up a little boy as a little girl. I mean, the girl,
yeah,
he had no choice. She forced him to. That's sort of a weird situation where you force somebody into.
yeah, because at the end of the film, they like flash back to when
They
she
did,
does
yeah.
it. So,
They show us
yeah.
the aunt made her become, or made him become a girl, dressed him up like one, and I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Paul D'Angelo as Ronnie Angelo.
Wasn't he in a band?
I don't know. I can't.
Wasn't he the singer of Iron Maiden?
Oh, that's Paul Diano.
Oh, I thought
Silly.
I thought that's what you said.
No. Susan Grace is Susie. And I'm not going to go through all these campers
Yeah,
here.
we don't care about all. There's like 50 kids in this movie.
Yeah. Willie Cuskin as Mozart.
Mozart.
Yeah. Desiree Gould. Oh, Desiree Gould was Aunt Martha, not Meg.
Oh,
So sorry about that, everybody.
crashed on the wrong woman.
Owen Hughes as Artie. Robert Earl Jones as Ben. He was one of the cooks, camp cooks.
Which one
And
was the pervert?
I think it was Artie. I think he
I
was
think
the
you're right.
pervert.
Anybody named Marty's usually a pervert. I've found out over the years.
Yeah, he was a blatant pervert too.
Yeah, they would have never got away with that, even in the mid 80s, I don't think.
And Robert Earl Jones, does that name sound familiar?
Yeah.
How's it sound familiar to you?
Didn't he kill somebody?
No, James Earl Jones.
Oh,
That's his dad.
That's his dad?
Robert Earl Jones is his is James Earl
Okay.
Jones' father.
That's pretty
So
cool.
yeah.
So I learned something there today.
Frank Trent Saladino as Gene. Rick Edrich as Jeff.
Well, shit, they used their whole budget up on all these cast people, even if they paid them $100. That adds up.
Yeah. Felissa Rose, I guess she got $5,000 for her part, though. So that was pretty good for, I think she was like 13 at the time when they made this
He
movie.
was like 13, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Alan Breton as Frank the cop with the very noticeable fake mustache. And that's the cast for Sleepaway Camp.
Hey, you're wearing a middle-aged and creeped out shirt.
Yeah, I am.
Good deal.
Shout out to the creepy guys.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Go over a little bit of the production. Let me find it here. Where the heck did it go?
Brett lost the production.
All
folks.
right. It was filmed in Argyle, New York, upstate New York, near Summit Lake at a camp formerly known as Camp Algonquin. And director Robert Hiltzik actually went there as a child. And it was filmed in 5 weeks, starting in September 1982, ending in October. Like I said, the budget was $350,000, and they originally did storyboards for this movie, but they were like way behind schedule the first day, so they said fuck it and threw them all out.
Maybe they should have kept them.
And because it was starting to become fall in upstate New York, the trees were starting to be turned brown. So they actually spray painted trees and tree leaves.
And that sounds like something I would do.
And the grass to make it look more like summer. So
yeah, that sounds like something I would have done. So that's pretty crafty. I give you credit for that, director.
yeah. All right, that's about it for the production. Let's see here. Guess we'll go over some trivia here.
Go for it. I have nothing else to say much about this darn thing. I really don't, except for it freaking flips me out still.
All right. This is Mike Kellen's final film. That was the guy that played the owner of the camp.
Yes, I did know that.
He was actually sick with stomach or lung cancer
when he made the movie.
Yep. But he hit it very well. And he died 3 months before the film's release. Excuse me.
Yeah, that part I actually knew. So I did know something about the movie, I guess.
Let me get a drink here.
I know I got a water with me today. I don't usually drink water on the air.
Willie Cuskin, who plays one of the bullied campers, was genuinely bullied by the other kids during filming, and Frank Saladino, who played a camp counselor, had to step in when other cast members took things too far. So
typical 80s world.
Yeah.
That's sort of what we live with in the 80s, you know.
It made 30 times more than it was spent on the budget.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
You got to give them some credit for that. I don't remember that being that big of a hit. I just remember it on being always in the freaking video, you know, the horror movie section of the video stores. I don't know if this was ever on HBO or not either. I remember I watched a lot of the 80s horror movies on HBO, but I don't remember. I think this was a VHS because the cover of the VHS I remember they had a Jason mask and a Freddy glove and something else like carrying it in their little pack.
Oh, yeah.
Such a blatant, but you know, that's actually, it was a blatant ripoff, but it got people like me to rent it several thousand times, probably.
I just remember the knife going through the tennis shoe is all I remember.
I'm gonna see if I can find that original VHS cover.
Jonathan Tiersten was given the role of Ricky after an unusual audition in which director Hiltzik asked Jonathan to cuss him out. He must have liked the way he cussed at him.
Well, isn't that fun? I think I've told you to cuss me out before.
Melissa Rose, Angela, Karen Fields, Judy, and Catherine Kamey's Meg were actually all quite close during filming. Catherine Kamey said that the scene where she had to throw Angela into the water was hard for her to shoot for that reason. So they were all like good friends, but none of them other two have ever went on to do anything. So, like I said, Felissa Rose was only 13 at the time, which is unusual for a feature film. Like you said, they used to use like 30-year-olds
They did.
for playing teenagers. And she was actually too young that she couldn't actually go to her own premiere of the movie.
I don't know if you can see this if you're on YouTube, but this was Sleepaway Camp 2 that had the Freddy and Jason masks. So
Okay.
I did watch Sleepaway Camp 2 in the day. I just don't remember anything about it. So
All right. I think I remember that cover for sure.
yeah.
Let's see here. Felissa Rose does not speak her first line until 31 minutes into the film.
Yeah, she
And then I
didn't
think
talk a lot.
then I think she said hello or some shit like
Yeah.
that. Let's see. Some of the campers getting off the buses at the beginning of the film are actually all relatives of the cast and crew. So talk about saving money right there.
Yeah, that's how we run haunted houses.
Oh, the original artwork for the Sleepaway Camp Survival Kit DVD box set,
I remember that.
which included the unauthorized sequels, was recalled after the American Red Cross complained about its trademark Red Cross logo appearing on the cover.
I remember that. I almost bought it just because when they re-released it, I thought it was going to be worth some money, but there was a re-release without the Red Cross on it.
So that one would probably be worth some money. No,
I remember that I almost bought that, and I'm like, why am I going to buy this? That's back when I was just randomly buying anything that was horror related, I think. So,
director Robert Hiltzik dedicated the movie to his mother who died before production began. And that's where he got his money to make the film, was from the inheritance from her death.
wow.
So she ended up making him a lot of money by giving him that gift.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Felissa Rose stated in an interview that she wore a bra designed to keep her breast flat as a board, though she joked that she was only 13 and there wasn't much to flatten anyway.
I was going to say, yeah.
Like I said, she was paid $5,000 for her performance. Most of the people getting off the buses were her relatives. She must have a big family.
Must have.
While filming the scene in which the canoe flips over in the lake, Johnny Dunn cut the top of his hand open against a sharp rock on the bottom of the lake and had to be rushed to the hospital and had many stitches. So
I would have just filmed that and put it in the movie if it were
yeah,
me.
fake real blood. You can't beat that shit.
Right?
During the filming of the scene where Artie hits Ricky against the shelves in the pantry, Artie actually had to repeatedly slam Ricky against the shelves. At the end of filming, he had lines on his back because they had to keep doing it so many times. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. This movie and Friday the 13th Part 3 from 1982 inspired Weird Al Yankovic's song Nature Trail to Hell. Both films feature the cutting up of campers and an ending you have to see to believe.
What was controversial about Friday the 13th Part 3's ending?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'll say this, Friday the 13th Part 3 could have won an Academy Award if it was put against Sleepaway Camp. By a million.
I just watched the Weird Al Yankovic movie the other night.
Oh, how was that?
It's just stupid as shit. It's funny though. It's definitely Weird Al for sure.
Yeah, I know. I want to watch it, but it was on
Yeah,
like some weird
it's on
channel.
Stars.
I don't have
I seen it.
stars.
I seen it on Stars. So,
Yeah, I
but
think it's on. It'll be on Tubi if it's not there already.
it's pretty good. Everybody does a great job in it. Lots of
Yeah,
nods to all kinds of stuff, and yeah.
we may have to review that movie and put it on here because it's Weird Al. He's evil enough as
Oh,
it is.
I love Weird Al.
Everybody loved Weird Al that grew up in the 80s.
Felissa Rhodes and Jonathan Tiersten developed a romance during filming, but broke up soon after. He was 17 and she was 13.
Oh no, he'd go to jail in this day and age.
When Leslie swims back to shore and gets onto the dock after the canoe flips, the woman who played her in that scene eventually became Robert Hiltzick's wife, Missy, to whom he became engaged shortly after the film wrapped production. Lisa Buckler got mono and was too sick to shoot that segment.
That's about it.
Does anybody even get mono anymore?
No,
I haven't heard of that since I was a kid, I don't think.
I
Shit.
think it died in the 80s. Maybe it never existed. I don't know.
Young Peter is played by Max Sorrentino, the older brother of Mike, the Situation Sorrentino of MTV's Jersey Shore.
I don't even know what that is or who that is.
You don't know what Jersey Shore is?
No.
Is
Or
that stupid reality show?
why would I know what that is? I don't watch MTV.
Oh,
They should be forced to change their name anyway.
yeah, they should be because there ain't a bit of music really on there.
Nothing
No,
now.
no videos anyway. All right. The original songs were used three original songs were used in the movie, but only one was released on the soundtrack of the album, but it don't say what they are.
Who knows?
Like I said, not memorable.
No.
Oh, let's see. That's about all I got.
Okay,
I can
good.
go over some spoilers if you want.
Do it, dude. I don't care at this stage.
All right. The climatic scene was accomplished using a nude man wearing a mask cast from Felissa Rose's face. The thin man who stood in for Angela was a college student who needed to get drunk before he was able to do the scene. Though
Well, let's
originally,
talk about that. Yeah.
though originally uncredited, it has since been revealed that the identity of Angela's body double was Archie Liberace.
Yeah, it was Liberace.
It is
Go ahead and explain that scene to everybody if you want to. The
well,
ending of the movie.
she basically cuts her boyfriend's head off and is
Turns into like a
rabid. I don't know what you'd call it,
rabid human. I don't know.
but she's naked and she's like growling. She did do a good growl. I don't know if she actually did that
I
growl
don't
or
think
not.
she did.
Uh, and she's just standing there with her penis hanging out.
Yeah, because it was
And then the people all around her like, she's a boy.
that's what I said. But she didn't
Uh,
want to be a girl that Aunt forced her to be. Really
yeah.
weird plot. I mean, I guess they should get credit for coming up with something unique. I don't know.
It was just sort of weird how they did her mouth too, how big her mouth was
It didn't
open.
look anything like her. It's like
No,
she turned into a werewolf like or
s-
something.
sort of. It was very strange.
Yeah.
A shot of dead Judy was cut by the MPAA for being much too grisly. I think they should have left the grisly in there.
Well, it's
Sure.
but the pervert and everything else, I think that'd be the least of the movie's problems.
Felissa Rose's mother didn't want her to be the killer because she was too young. Jonathan Tiersten was the stand-in, and hand double for all of Angela's actions during the murders. You could sort of tell that. You could tell that wasn't a girl's hand,
Yeah,
but knowing the end,
it was.
it was a
Yeah,
man's hand, so, or boy's hand,
a
or whatever.
13-year-old boy.
Yeah. All right. For Artie's, yeah, it was Artie. For Artie's severe burn sequence, the actor was propped up on a fake floor, and underneath liquid gelatin was pumped through the blisters, giving them the impression they were pulsating. That was a
Yeah,
pretty good.
that was the best part of the movie. They did really
Yep.
good effects on that.
Yeah.
It looked like he was really burned.
Yeah,
I
it
halfway
did.
thought he might have been burned in this damn thing.
Yeah, it was very cool. The blisters blistering up looked real.
It did. It did.
And when you get burned like that for real with boiling water, them blisters come up quick. So,
Sound like you know from personal
yeah, I
experience.
do. I do. All righty, that's about all I got for spoilers. I'll let you guys watch it and see the rest of the stuff yourself. So,
Okay, Bubba. So what are you gonna give this movie? What's your comments on it?
like you said, it doesn't hold up very well at all.
It didn't hold up well in the 80s. By the time like 87, 88 came out, it had already lost its allure.
I've actually watched it twice here in the last week, uh, just to get a better feel for it. Uh, I don't know. Special effects were okay in it.
Yeah, they were.
Not the best, but
No.
what
I'll
do you
tell you
expect?
what, they were better than Pumpkinhead, I think. I still hate that freaking movie. If I had to watch this or Pumpkinhead, I would pick Sleepaway Camp.
Oh shit.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm just glad Felissa Rose went on to have her a good career after that, because
I agreed.
uh she's pretty cool. I know a lot of people who's actually talked to her at cons and stuff and heard she's really cool. So
He was the shining star of this movie, in my opinion.
yep, for sure. But anyway, I'm gonna give it I'm gonna go ahead and give it 2.5
Okay.
horns up, horns or whatever the fuck, knives through tennis shoes or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So
Well, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 1.5 horns down.
a negative 1.5.
No, no, just a
Oh,
1.5. I've never gave anything a negative. You're the one that gives negative.
there's only been one I gave a negative to. So
Now there's two.
oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay, two.
It's just about a 1.5. It's not worth watching in this day and age. It is creative, and she does do a really good job, and some of the special effects are good. So that's where the 1.5 comes from.
Okay.
It was just a blatant rip off. I mean,
Well, I'm not telling anybody not to watch it if you've never seen it before, but if you've seen it before, that's probably all you need.
yeah, you might want to watch it just one time to see what the hell's
Just
going on with it.
if you don't, because this was the first time I'd watched it in many years, so uh I didn't even really remember a lot of stuff in it,
I think
so
I've seen it within the last 5 years for some reason. I don't remember how or why,
but
but I remember the whole series of movies, and I just know that I'm sure I don't remember anything about part two, but I don't think I ever saw any of the sequels after that. It just becomes sort of a what the fuck ever situation.
yeah.
So I'm giving it a 1.5.
All right.
It could have been
That,
worse.
that's fair. That's fair.
Now, when I was 12 years old, I would have probably gave it about a 4. So I did watch it as a kid numerous times. Freaked me out. But 30 years ago, I would have gave it a lot higher of a rating.
Okay. I probably would have too.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, that's all we got for Sleepaway Camp from 1983.
Coming soon, Fog City. That's a spoiler.
Yes, I gotta buy that movie.
This is a current day or modern day independent film that I've sort of actually I found it on Facebook. There was a Facebook ad and I clicked on it and I'm like, well, this looks kind of cool. And yeah. Yeah, but I really want to start to get into the independent films a little bit more on the show.
Yep.
So,
Well, a lot of them are better than the high dollar big ones that are coming out,
well, you know, in the 80s and the 70s and even the 50s, probably the 40s, we called them low budget films or B movies, but now I call them independent films because they are actually better than, like you said, a lot of the Hollywood produced horror movies. So now
Yeah.
we're not talking about fan films. Some of them are okay too, but these are just actual independent films. And Fog City is going to start, be our first one, and we may get into some more after that. We may try to talk to some people from it. So,
Yep. Gonna reach out.
just
Oh,
to compare a low budget 80s movie to a modern day independent film, it's like night and day now.
exactly.
It really is.
Oh, did you hear they're trying to make a sequel to Halloween 4?
Oh, fucking really good.
Yeah, but
Can't wait.
wasn't Halloween 5 the sequel to Halloween 4?
Halloween 5 was shit, man. That movie sucks. It was terrible. It really was. You got to admit it was a bad movie.
Yeah, they should have made a direct sequel to it. So
They
yeah.
should have.
Yeah.
And they think they rushed it to get to the theater to try to make money. Yeah, I'd love to see a sequel to Halloween 4.
I would too.
Just forget all about, part 5, and like you said, a direct sequel. That could be interesting, especially if they got Daniel Harris involved.
I think that's in the works for sure.
Then it could be cool as shit, man.
They're gonna totally go away from the whole Halloween 6 aspect of it in it.
They can do that. That would work. They've already had, how many times have they, this would be the 4th rewrite of the Halloween verse, so go for it.
Yeah.
Couldn't be any worse than Halloween Ends. Nothing could be worse than that.
Oh.
Sleepaway Camp has that beat, don't it?
Oh yeah, it does for sure.
Maybe.
For sure. All right, everybody. Thanks for
We're
watching,
done.
listening, and check us out on all the social medias. And we will talk to you. I'll talk to you Wednesday.
Yeah, I guess we're back on the normal schedule now.
Back on a normal schedule. Thank God. Had me all fucked up.
Are we still filming a little bit different? But
yeah, that's because we all had shit going on. So
we did.
All right, everybody. Stay
we'll be
evil.
back next week, and I don't know what we're doing. Stay evil, have fun,
Bye.
and watch football.
Dear Mom and Dad, I've been at a sleepaway camp for almost 3 weeks, and I'm getting very scared.
Welcome to Sleepaway Camp. Someone is watching you.
Hey, Baba, Reba!
Someone is waiting for you. Someone wants to scare you to death.
Turn it! Turn the wheel! Oh my God!
Sleepaway Camp. You won't be coming home.